Hello everyone, my name is Heather and today I'm doing a super fun video. Today I'm going to do some 5-star predictions. And what does that mean? That means the books I'm going to talk about today are books that I think that I'm going to rate 5 stars when I read them. Will I be right? Will I be wrong? I don't know, we'll see. I've done this video before and I never have done an update, so I'm holding myself accountable this year. That's why I'm doing this video at the very beginning of the year, so that way at the end of the year I could do an update to see if I've read all of these, if they were indeed 5 stars or 1 stars, but either way, these are books that I think that I would just love and I'll just be obsessed with, and hopefully they'll be on my favorites by the end of the year, but we'll just have to see. Before I get into it though, I do want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Book of the Month. Book of the Month is an online book service for readers. Each month, their team curates all of the new releases and picks up to 7 selections for the readers to choose from. It used to be only 5 selections, but they bumped it up now. Team really goes through and figures out which ones they think that their members will love. What's great about Book of the Month is that you can choose whatever book you want. You can choose 1 book, you can choose 2 books. If you're not feeling that month, you can also skip it without any penalty at all. With the selections they pick, they really try to do a big emphasis on debut authors and debut novels with that. And they also have a great thing where they even get books out to the members that are not even out yet. Sometimes you'll get a book that's not even out for a couple weeks, like you feel extra special. They're amazing. So I highly recommend checking them out. They're a great service and I always recommend them every single time I talk about them because they just really, I love their selections they choose from. Sometimes I can guess them, sometimes I can't, but either way, they really put a lot of thought into their selections and I enjoy the majority of them. If you're interested in checking out Book of the Month, which I highly recommend you do so, you can use the code Bookables at checkout to get your first book for only $9.99, which is a steal. Hardbacks are expensive. Trust me, I know. As always, I am trying to be budget and frugal. So to get a deal where it's only $9.99 for a hardback, run, don't walk to that deal because it's a great one. You don't want to miss it. 2 selections that I picked out for this month. First one is What Lies in the Woods by Kate Alice Marshall. I have read a young adult book by this author. It was very dark and atmospheric and I enjoyed it. So I'm very interested to see how she's going to translate into the adult thriller genre. I don't know much about this and I don't want to know. They were 11 when they sent a killer to prison. They were heroes, but they were liars. It sounds really intense. I'm hoping that it's going to be even darker and grittier than a Hawaii book. I would imagine so because it's adult, but either way, it sounds amazing. On the lighter note, I got The Reunion by Kayla Olson. The actors that grew up on this show called Girl on the Verge, and they're back on set, and I think it's about 2 old co-stars that kind of fall in love again. So it's hence The Reunion. I think it's going to be cute and fun. So I have 2 very, very different books here. I got a really intense thriller and a really super cute romance. I'm excited to read both of them. And like I said, be sure to check out Book of the Month. They are an awesome service. I highly recommend checking them out. So for 5-star predictions, I have broken this into 2 different lists, if you will. My first one is books that are coming out this year in 2023, and then books I have that are either backlist or just on my cart that I kind of chose from. That's the right word. I could talk. But either way, I'm going to start with 2003. I want to say 2003 so bad it's not even funny. 2023, whatever. I'm old. First up is a book I literally just started, and that is How to Buy a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. I have read, I want to say 3 or 4 books by Grady Hendrix. I've given 2 of them, I believe, 5 stars. My favorite by him is one I read last year, My Best Friend's Exorcism. He writes horror, but with a lot of kind of satire and also how to gross things. How to Buy a Haunted House. The more I'm getting into it, the more I think this is going to pack a bigger emotional punch for me than I thought previously, because it's all about siblings that lose their parents and they have to go back home to sell their house. And I don't know. I'm having a rough time with one of my parents right now. I'm having a rough time with my father. I've told you guys recently about it. It's just hitting a lot harder for me. So this might be a 5-star just for the sheer emotional punch it will pull. But I'm putting this on this list because I've read from Grady Hendrix before and I enjoy his writing. So if I'm honest, I'm really hoping this will be a 5 out of 5. We'll see. I should finish it here in a week or so, so fingers crossed. Next up is another book I'm planning to read very, very soon. And that is Do I Know You by Emily Wibberley and Austin C. Mabroka. They are an author duo that previously wrote young adult books. They still probably do, but they came out with their first adult book last year, The Roughest Draft, which coincidentally I loved, but a lot of people hated, so I don't know, maybe I'll be the odd one out on this one again. This is about a married couple that is going on their anniversary trip, but they're very strained. But somehow through this trip, there's like this singles retreat and they get mistaken for singles. So they're like, hey, let's just play into it and act like we don't know each other. And so they kind of fall in love all over again, and they're learning maybe this is just like a thing we have where we're just pretending to be like we don't know each other, or like, do we still want to fight for this marriage? So I love a good second chance romance when it really goes in the nitty gritty of marriages. So I'm very excited to read this one. If it's anything like their last book, it's going to be chock full of angst, and I'm here for it. Then I have an author I've never read before, but the premise just sounds so interesting to me that I'm just like, I am hoping this is a 5-star, and that is The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. This is a book about an author, or hopefully wanting to be an author. She gets a chance to go to this writing retreat, hence the title. And when she's there, she's with a whole bunch of other, hopefully authors, and the person that's holding this event is a famous author, and she's like, you know what, like, I want all of you guys to write a novel. Then I want to say, like, it's either like 60 or 30 or 60 days, and whoever writes the best one's going to win like 100 grand. So everybody's like, all right, let's do this. I would do this. I'm not a writer at all, but for that, yeah. And so she gets into this contest, and she learns that the owner is getting a little bit more eccentric. Things are happening. It just sounds like such a unique plot that I'm like really hopeful will be a 5 out of 5, because I've never read anything by this author. Is this a debut author? I don't know, but that's always a good treat when you read a debut author and it's a 5 out of 5. You're just like, yes. So I have high hopes for this one. I'm staying away from reviews for this one because I want to go into it without any expectations other than like hoping it'll be a 5 out of 5. You get what I mean. I don't want to be swayed by any reviews, if you will. So I'm really hopeful for this one. Then we have Happy Place by Emily Henry. I've given every Emily Henry book I've read, as far as her adult romance, 5 out of 5. So this one is an easy one for me. I don't even know what the plot is about. I really don't. I just know it's Emily Henry, and I love her adult romances. So I feel very fairly confident saying this will probably be a 5 out of 5, because as history shows me, all of her other books were 5 out of 5. Another author I love is Yours Truly by Abby Himezen. This is an author I really have enjoyed. I've read a few of her books that I've given like 4 or like close to 5, and I always really have high hopes for her books. She writes a lot of romance books that are really super cute but pack an emotional punch, is what exactly I love. I love romances that are like that 100%. So I'm hoping this one will feel the same way to me. Here's to hoping. Then we have a completely different one. I don't think I've ever read this author before, but I don't think she's a debut author, and that is The Daydreams or Daydreamers by Laura Hawken. Sorry. But this one caught my interest on NetGalley. It's all about this girl band that kind of got really famous and they kind of fell apart, and now I think they're coming back together to rehash things, or maybe a reunion tour, something like that. I have read a few books where I've really enjoyed that. Number 1, Daisy Jones and the Six. Love that book. Another book, I always forget what it's called. Something about Cassie Holmes, The Invisible Life of Cassie Holmes. Again, that was one I really enjoyed. It was about a band that kind of fell apart and one of their members died, and so they have to rehash things. And I just somehow really enjoy about fictional like bands for some reason. Weirdly enough, because I'm not like the most interesting with music. That's just how I am. Like the music I liked in high school and in my 20s is like my forever music. But either way, I really love reading about fictional music and bands and things like that. So I'm really having high hopes for this one. Again, I'm staying away from reviews because I don't want to know. And then lastly, for the 2023 releases is A Twisted Love Story by Samantha Downing. My Lovely Wife by her is one of my favorite thrillers of all time. I love that one. I also really enjoyed her second one called He Started It. Her third one, I don't remember the title of it because I did not enjoy it that much at all. I didn't like it, but I'm going to put her on this list because I have high hopes for her. Like, I loved 2 of her books. I'm really hoping that this one will be another amazing one. It's about a twist. It's about a marriage or a couple that's really, really great, and they put on a facade, and then a murder gets involved. I don't know, but I love Samantha Downing's writing, so I'm very excited for it, and I'm hoping it'll be a 5 out of 5. As far as other ones go that I have on my like book cart, number 1, Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I got this one because everyone was raving about it. It's very comparable to The House by the Cerulean Sea, which was on my favorites list of 2022. So I have very high hopes for this one. It's about an orc that opens up like a coffee or like a tea shop or something, and I don't know, just the cover reminds me of Warcraft, and I used to be obsessed with Warcraft. Like I had an intervention for myself and stop playing it, so I don't play it anymore. I don't have time anymore. This was like before kids, before marriage, all that fun stuff. But either way, it just seems like such a cute, warm book that I think I will fall in love with, because a lot of my friends have read it and also really, really loved it. So I'm hoping to love it as well. So definitely think this won't be a 5 out of 5. Like, I'll be really disappointed if it's not. I have a book that I have talked about a lot on my channel and have yet to read, Black Cake by Charmaine Wilkerson. I have been talking about wanting to read this book for like over a year now. Have I read it yet? No, but I want to. This is about, again, another kind of parent figure dies and the kids have to deal with it. Maybe I haven't read it because it's going to affect me a lot, but basically she leaves them a black cake, and this is a debut novel. It says an extraordinary journey through the life of family changed forever by the choices of its matriarch. I don't know, something about it, I feel like I'm gonna be obsessed with it. So I'm really have high hopes for this one. Another one that I haven't read yet because I know it's gonna freaking knock me off. It's gonna gut punch me. The Winners by Frederick Bachman. This is the third book in the Beartown series. I've read the first two. Love them. Beartown is my favorite Frederick Bachman book. I've read all of his books. It is a very emotional, heavy book that will make you cry for sure. And that's why I haven't read The Winners yet. And if it's sheer length, like, damn. That's all I gotta say. So those are the two reasons I haven't read it, but I am expecting it to be a 5 out of 5, and I will be disappointed if it's not, because I love Frederick Bachman's writing. I love the characters in this story. I love the series, and I know it's gonna make me sob. It's gonna make me sob, much like a book that The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. In 2018, I discovered the world of Kristen Hanna by reading The Nightingale, one of my favorite books of all time, probably my most favorite. I love that book. It made me cry, like literal tears, like sobbing. I don't ever do that with books. I read another book by her, The Great Alone, sobbing. I read another book by her, Firefly Lane, sobbing. So you can sense a trend of Kristen Hanna. Yes, she writes amazing books, but they affect me a lot. Like, I feel like her books are like soap opera on steroids. Is that the right thing to say? I don't know, but that's how I feel. Like, I love them, but they affect me emotionally in a big way. That's the main reason I haven't read this book. I am expecting to be a 5 out of 5 because I've given every Kristen Hanna book I've read a 5 out of 5. And then the last book is one that I just feel like, I don't know, I just have a feeling, Cackle by Rachel Harrison. I have read another book by Rachel Harrison. It was a new release last year, Sharp Teeth, and it was about a werewolf, but more about sisterhood. And I really enjoyed it, surprisingly. I did not think I would like it as much as I did. So I've heard nothing but good things about Cackle. This is about like witchy vibes, but not really. It says a darkly funny, frighteningly novel about a young woman meeting a witch who might be too good to be true. I don't know, just something about it seems very 5-star-ish to me. There's no reason. Like, you know, when you just look at a book and you just get a feeling like, I feel like I'm gonna really love this book. That's the kind of feeling I get when I look at this book. Will I be right? Will I be wrong? I don't know. There you have all the books I think that I will give a 5-star at this year. I don't know. This one, with any predictions video, it could go several different ways. It could be a huge success. It could be a massive failure. It could be a good 50-50, or I could not read any of these books. Stay tuned in December when I do an update to see if I read them all, what I thought about them, because I will be doing an update on them. All these books I selected for this, I made sure like I will read this year. Also, another one I forgot, House of Breath and Sky. The second book in the Crescent City series. I do think that'll be a 5 out of 5 because I liked House of, oh god, her titles are so long. The first one so much. I forgot to grab it because, I don't know. And the reason I haven't read it yet is because it's sheer length. Like, good lord, I think it's like 800 pages. I literally don't have time for that. But I do want to read it this year, and I do think it'll be a 5 out of 5, even though I've seen a lot of reviews where it's not. So, there you have my 5-star predictions. I don't know. I really don't know. This is going to be a mixed bag, but we're going to explore this together. If you've read any of these books and you already have your rating on them, let me know your thoughts so I can adjust my expectations accordingly. But either way, I'm excited to bring you an update in like 11 months to see how I'm feeling on them. We'll see. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.